I want you to listen closely for a moment, because what I am about to tell you may go against everything you have heard about your body after 60. You have heard it for years. The deep Asian squat is dangerous, it destroys your knees, and it is off limits after a certain age. Those messages create fear. Fear that your knees cannot bend safely. Fear that your body is too stiff or too fragile to handle this movement anymore. But if that were true, how is it that in many parts of the world, you will see grandparents in their 70s and 80s dropping into a deep squat to wait for a bus, cook a meal, or chat with neighbors as comfortably as sitting in a chair? After more than 25 years working with seniors, I can tell you with confidence that your body is far more capable than you have been led to believe. A deep squat is not a stunt. It is a natural resting position the human body has used for thousands of years, and modern life simply pushed it out of your daily routine. Today, we are going to start bringing it back. You will learn why this movement matters, why it is not dangerous when approached correctly, and how you can start reclaiming the strength, mobility, and confidence in your body no matter your age. So stay with me. Grab a sturdy chair, wear something that lets your hips and knees move freely, and let me guide you step by step. And before we begin, comment below with your name and where you are watching from, because I always love seeing who is joining me on this journey. For the next few minutes, I want to help you understand why so many people have been taught to fear the deep squat in the first place. When a doctor or trainer tells you that this position is dangerous, it is usually not because the movement itself is harmful. It is because most people in modern Western life have lost the mobility and strength to do it safely, and instead of teaching you how to rebuild that ability, it feels easier and safer for them to simply say, avoid it. I have heard this for decades in physical therapy. Someone walks into a clinic stiff in the hips, tight in the ankles, weak around the knees, and the professional looking at them assumes the movement is the problem, rather than the lack of practice and preparation. So the advice turns into never let your knees go forward and never sit too low. But that is not how the human body was designed to move. If you look at real life, especially in sports, knees over toes is completely normal. Think about a baseball catcher settling low behind the plate, a tennis player exploding forward for a shot, a sprinter coming out of the blocks, a skier riding a steep slope. In every single one of these movements, the knees move well past the toes. The reason these athletes do not fall apart is because they have trained the muscles around the knees to handle that position. It is not dangerous. It is natural human mechanics. What makes it feel dangerous for many older adults in the United States is not age. It is lack of mobility. When you spend decades sitting in chairs, cars, and couches, your hips and ankles stiffen and the deep squat starts to feel foreign. And when something feels foreign, the mind turns it into fear. The fear makes you tense up. The tension makes the movement harder. The difficulty becomes proof that the movement must be unsafe, but the truth is far more hopeful. You are not afraid because the deep squat is bad. You are afraid because your body has not moved that way in a long time. And the way you remove fear is not by avoiding the movement, but by rebuilding the strength and flexibility that make it feel safe again. That is exactly what we are doing today. I want to take a moment to help you understand what is actually happening in your body when you go into a deep squat. As you lower yourself, your hips flex to bring your thighs toward your chest. Your ankles bend to let your knees travel forward and keep you balanced. And your spine may round slightly in the lower back, which is completely normal and something humans have done for thousands of years. None of this is dangerous when your muscles are prepared for it. These movements are the reason people in many parts of the world still use the deep squat as a natural resting position well into their 70s and 80s. It feels effortless for them because their hips, ankles, and spine have continued to move through those ranges throughout life. What surprises many people in the United States is that age is not the reason this movement feels hard. The body does not lose the ability because you turned 60 or 70. It loses it because the movement slowly disappeared from daily life. Decades of sitting in chairs make the hips stiff, the ankles rigid, and the spine less adaptable. The body simply adjusts to what you do over and over, and if you never practice the deep squat, it gradually forgets how. The good news is that it can relearn. I have watched people in their 60s, 70s, and even late 80s regain this movement once they understand the mechanics and train them safely. The deep squat feels natural in many cultures because the body was allowed to keep the skill, and today we are beginning to restore that same ability for you. Now that you understand why the deep squat feels difficult and what your body has been missing all these years, it is time to shift from knowledge to practice. This is the part that truly unlocks the movement for you. A deep squat is not about forcing yourself down. It is about preparing the pieces that make the position safe and comfortable. The 3 exercises we are about to do will target the exact areas that modern life has made tight and weak. We are going to wake up your hamstrings so your hips can fold the way they were designed to. We are going to activate your hip flexors and the front of your ankles so your knees can travel forward without fear. And we are going to help you control your depth so your body learns how to move confidently instead of collapsing or fighting the motion. These simple drills restore the human squat because they rebuild what daily sitting has taken away. You do not need to push hard. You just need to practice with intention. So take a breath, get your chair ready, and let me guide you through each step so your body can start reclaiming this natural movement again. Remember, a gentle stretching or warming sensation is completely normal, but any sharp pain, sudden sting, or pressure inside your knee or hip is a clear signal to stop right away and check with your doctor or physical therapist before you continue. Exercise 1: High Hamstring Exploration. I want you to settle into this first movement with a calm, curious mindset, because this is where your body begins to remember something it once did with ease. Stand in front of your couch or a sturdy chair and place your hands on it for balance. Take a comfortable step back so your feet feel steady, then begin to push your hips back slowly as if you are gently trying to reach your butt toward the couch behind you. Let your knees straighten a little, then soften them again, moving gently between both positions. What we are doing here is exploring the high hamstrings, the part of the muscle that often becomes tight when we spend many years living in chairs. In many places around the world, people squat every single day, and their bodies stay open because the movement is part of daily life. For most of us in the United States, our habits have trained our hips and hamstrings to stay tight without us realizing it, and this exercise helps those muscles wake back up. Take a slow breath and notice where you feel stiff. If you shift your weight toward one leg, you may feel one side tighten or shake, and that is completely normal. Stay with it gently and let that leg work a bit more, then shift to the other side and explore the difference. Think of it as helping the muscle fibers learn how to lengthen again. If your ankles feel stiff or the stretch pulls too low, you can lift your heels slightly by placing them on a small book or a folded towel, which takes the ankles out of the equation and lets you focus more on the upper hamstrings. Keep exploring at your own pace. Straighten the knees a little, then bend them slightly, and notice how the stretch changes. When you find a spot that feels tight, stay there for a moment and breathe. You are not forcing anything, you are simply letting the muscles rediscover a position they have not visited in a long time. As you continue this slow exploration, you may notice small shakes in your legs, which is a good sign because it means the muscles are starting to engage again. Let your breath stay steady and keep moving within a range that feels safe. This gentle back and forth movement prepares your hips and hamstrings for a deeper and more comfortable squat later in the session, so keep allowing your body to adjust and trust that this simple exploration is already helping you move with more confidence. Exercise 2: Hip Flexor Lift with Toe Lift. Sit tall at the edge of your couch or a sturdy chair and place your hands beside you so you feel steady. Lean back a little if you want the movement to feel easier, or lean forward if you want a bit more challenge. Now begin to lift one knee toward your chest, as if you are trying to bring your thigh a little closer with every breath. Hold it for a moment, then lift your toes toward your shin to wake up the front of your ankle. That small lift is important because it helps your knee travel forward safely when you squat. Lower the leg with control and switch sides, letting each lift find its own rhythm. As you move, you may feel the front of your hips working in a way you have not felt in years, and that is exactly what we want. In places where people squat every day, their hip flexors stay strong throughout life, and that is one of the reasons older adults there can still settle into a deep squat with ease. We are rebuilding that same strength right now. Keep lifting each knee as high as you comfortably can without any sharp pinching in the front of the hip. If you feel tight, lean back a little to give yourself more space. If you want more challenge, lean forward slightly and let your core join the work. Lift the knee, hold for a moment, lift the toes, and lower with control. Stay patient and steady, because these small muscles wake up quickly when you give them a clear signal. Keep counting each lift in your mind until you reach 12 on each side, letting every repetition feel strong and deliberate. As you keep going, You may notice the front of your hips warming up and your lower abs joining in. That is your body remembering how to support forward knee travel, which is a key part of a deep, comfortable squat. Stay with the movement, breathe calmly, and trust that each controlled repetition is giving you more confidence and more room to move when we practice the squat next. Exercise 3. Supported deep squat practice. Stand facing your couch or a sturdy chair and place your hands on the armrest or the backrest so you feel balanced and safe. Take a small step back so your feet are under you and let your toes turn out just a little in whatever way feels natural. Take a calm breath and begin to lower yourself slowly by bending your knees and letting your hips sink straight down. Move like an elevator, not a drop, letting your body decide how deep it can go today. Choose the depth you can control. If your heels want to lift, let them lift for now, because that is a normal part of learning this movement again. If you can keep your heels down comfortably, go ahead and do that. Either option is completely fine because what matters is control. As you move down, you might feel your knees drifting forward, and that is exactly what we want because it creates space for your hips and your spine to settle. If you have ever wondered how older adults in some countries can squat deeply their whole lives, this is the secret. They practice the movement every day without thinking about it, and this exercise helps you rebuild that same pattern safely. Lower yourself as far as you can without losing balance, then press gently through your legs to rise back up. Take your time and keep the pace slow and smooth. We are aiming for 12 controlled repetitions, and every one of them matters. As you lower, feel how your thighs and hips begin to warm. As you rise, feel how your legs support you from the ground up. This is the same strength you use every time you stand up from a chair or get out of a car, and building it here makes those daily movements easier and safer. As you move through each repetition, you may also notice your balance improving. That is important because better balance lowers your risk of falling and gives your body more confidence with every step. When your hips open and your core begins to support you more naturally, many people even find that digestion feels better and that their lower back feels less tense. These are the quiet benefits of a deep, strong movement like this. If you feel unsteady, hold the couch a little more firmly. If you feel strong, lighten your grip and let your legs do more of the work. Keep your breath steady and let your body settle into the rhythm. On the final repetition, stay at the bottom position for a short moment. Hold whatever depth you can manage, letting your legs work and your hips open. This brief hold tells your body that this position is safe and that it belongs to you again. Then use the strength in your legs to come back up with calm, steady control. As you finish, notice how your body feels more connected and more capable than when you started, and trust that this simple supported practice is not only the bridge that leads you toward a deeper, more confident squat, but also a meaningful step toward stronger legs, better balance, healthier joints, and a body that supports you in every part of your day. As we wrap up today, I want you to take a moment and really notice how your body feels right now. You just asked your hips, knees, and ankles to move in ways they may not have moved in years, and the fact that you made it this far tells me a lot about your commitment to your own health. Deep squatting is not dangerous for your joints when it is done with care and consistency. What holds most people back is not age and not wear and tear. It is simply years of not practicing the movement. These 3 exercises are the foundation that helps you open the natural human squat again, and when you come back to them regularly, your body starts to respond faster than you expect. If you want to build real confidence in this movement, I want you to make a simple promise to yourself. Commit to these 3 drills for 5 minutes a day, 4 days a week, and you will feel a clear difference in your hips and your knees in the next 14 days. Your balance will feel steadier, your joints will feel more supported, and the bottom of the squat will feel less intimidating. If you are ready for that kind of change, let me know you are joining the 14-day challenge by dropping a comment below, because I would love to cheer you on. If you want to get even stronger, go ahead and run this video one more time today, or come back to it tomorrow and add another round. When you are ready for the next step, the video after this one will help you move toward a deeper squat with less support and more control. If this session helped you remember what your body can still do, please like the video, share it with someone who might need encouragement, and subscribe so you never miss the next step on your journey.